Hi everybody. So I have a layout for Wild Whisper today. I am using the One More Chapter collection. Susie and Heather just re-released this collection and I love it. It's fabulous. We're going to be playing with it all month long for both of my Wild Whisper projects this month. I'm going to be working with just the paper and the flare today, and I've done a little bit of work ahead of time so that this video could just kind of flow nice and smooth for everybody. So I fussy cut from one of the pattern papers. I fussy cut these 3 books, and then I added a lot of glossy accents to the top. You can see them there to give them some shine and shimmer, and so pretty. And then I kind of smudged the glossy accents right there, but we decided, well, I decided that that just added texture and super fun too. So I just fussy cut this from the pattern paper and then filled it all in with glossy accents. Easy peasy. I also grabbed a cut file. So this cut file is new this month from Cut to You. If you're interested, you can check out her shop. And I used all the patterns and backed the whole cut file. And then I'm going to use this as my background because I can do my journaling right on it. I have some flare and I have 2 of these like branding strips that I'm determined to get on the page. And then I also have the rest of the collection down here by my side if I decide that I need more pattern, more color. I know I'm going to because I do want to kind of map my photos a little bit. So that's what we're working with today. If you want to grab your hands on this fun collection, you can use my code DTSARA at Wild Whisper to get a percentage off of your sales, or you can run over to a cherry on top because they just got all of this in stock. They're in the US. They're the only US stockist. You can grab it and you don't have to worry about all of those huge extra shipping charges for international shipping. Okay, sounds great. Let's get started.
So I'm going to start off with my photos. These 2 photos are both 3x3 prints, and I know that I want to layer and layer and layer lots of patterns behind them. So I'm going to kind of start by taking the scraps. So my photos are 3x3. I am not going to need full sheets of paper to be able to do some messy layers behind them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all those same patterns that I used to back the cut files, and I'm going to kind of cut them down into reasonable triangle-like shapes, and then I'm just going to layer all those strips behind my photo. So it's a really kind of messy type of a mat. I'm not doing anything very precise, but I'm also making sure that you can see all those patterns because these are the same patterns that I used to back the cut file, and I want everything to work kind of cohesively together. So I'm going to start with my 2 photos on this kind of orange star paper. Then I'm going to add some of this like yellow text paper. I know that I have a lot of journaling I want to do on this layout. I have a definite story I want to tell, and that's why I chose the background. I am one of those people that I need lines to write, and I prefer to have either a ledger or lined paper that I can write right onto my background with, or to have a dedicated kind of journaling spot. So for this one, I'm going to write right on the background because that's going to give me lots and lots and lots of room to decide, you know, what I want to write about and make sure I have enough space. This is going to be my last layer, my last pattern. I'm going to make sure that I always make sure my last layer fully covers the back, all of my photos, to kind of corral everything together as you were. Now I want to decide where I want my cut file. I have an idea in my head a little bit of how I want this to work. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of start placing everything down and deciding where things are going to go. So at this point, I have 2 of these branding strips. I'm going to put them at the bottom. And then as I'm looking at this, I decide I want more color and I want 2 more branding strips at the top. I don't have any cut for me, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the papers that I want and the branding strips I want and just trim them off. One of the lovely things about Wild Whisper designs is that their branding strips are really made to be borders, and they help you to stretch your patterns and your designs and stretch your elements fabulously. You can really use an entire sheet of paper, including the branding strips, and they are different. They're not just little snippets of ones of the patterns like you can see here. This is like pencils and some writing, and they are actually designed to be cut off and used as borders, which I really love. So now I have these little books, and I'm going to kind of play with where I want them. That one's actually not going to go there in the end, but that's okay. I'm just auditioning everything, and then I can use all of that down there to do my journaling. And I actually do end up doing using a lot of that space. I think there's a little bit of space that I end up not writing in, but it's really not much. So now I'm going to go ahead and start to get all of these things down, starting with the branding strips, because I'm not doing anything special to the branding strips. I'm just going to put the 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom, line them up with the top and bottom of the page. And I think that turns out really well. It keeps everything interesting. It adds just a little bit of text and a little bit of interest to the top and the bottom of my page, and I really do really like how these turned out. And like I said, as I put these down, you can kind of see what I mean. Like, these are made to, or they're designed to be part of your collection, usable embellishments, usable borders, and I really love that. So I'm just going to go ahead here and kind of get these borders down, and then I'm going to grab my Big Mama roll of tape, because I've decided that I want to pop up my cut file. So when I backed this cut file, I didn't go for like necessarily the brightest, boldest patterns in the collection. I just kind of went with the ones I already had cut into. This was very much a layout where the only 12 by 12 sheet of paper was the background paper, and then I just used a lot of my scraps. I love to be able to do this just because it just makes things easier. I'm always someone who likes to take a large collection and then kind of narrow it down, and really kind of always start with your scraps. I always start with offcuts. And if I think I can back a cut file, or I think I can use the scrap of paper, then I am all for it. Because when I get to the end of a collection, I tend to just toss all of my scraps. So I'm I guess the word is scrap conscious as I scrapbook. So I put all that foam tape on the back of the cut file, and I'm just kind of lining my photo up. I am telling you right now, this like crunchy notebook paper look on this layout really was just fabulous for this, because everything was turned out straight and just really well. So I have all of my journaling down, and I also have my photo, like my date stamp on my photo. You can also see that the light changed in my room. So I've started scrapbooking at like 6:30 in the morning before my youngest son starts school or has to go to homeroom. His school room is also my scrapbook room, and when he has writing assignments and quizzes to do, it's distracting to him for me to be there like cutting paper and messing around with stuff. So I have gotten into a good groove now where I scrapbook first thing in the morning, and then he starts school and I go about my business of chores and dogs and all of those kinds of things. And then in the afternoon, after he's done with school, in the evening, after dinner, if I'm cooking dinner, before dinner, if my sister's cooking dinner, depending on how we have that worked out that day, when he's done with school, then I can scrapbook in the evening. So my scrapbooking is a lot different than it was before school started, and it was a big adjustment. I know that I had lots of videos that were like late and stuff like that, but I think we've gotten into a really good routine now, and so I'm really in a groove of when I scrapbook and how that works and how that fits into my day and all of that, which is a really, really good thing. The other really good thing is that I have learned the art of recording everything and then taking all of my devices when I leave the room, including my Mac, and then working on blogging and videos and stuff like that as I have time throughout the day before I'm back in my scrapbook filming again. I hope that makes sense. And if you're curious as to how I get done, everything I get done in a day, there you go. I went through my stash and I grabbed some of these color cast designs, little wood veneer circles. I just wanted a little bit of something. I know I had the Flare, which isn't paper, and I have those books that I put all the glossy accents on, so they don't look or seem like paper, but I just wanted a little bit of something more that would warm up the page a little bit. I felt like we needed just a little bit, something a little warm. So I'm going to go through all of my color cast designs, but in the end, I just used these two wood veneer pieces. I adore color cast designs, wood veneer pieces. I cannot even tell you how much I adore them. They're thin, they're super sticky, they're already adhesive backed, and I just love them. So now I decided I want to add a bit of sequins. So I grabbed one of the Wild Whisper exclusive sequin mixes from Spiegel Mom Scraps, and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of cluster these sequins all together so that I do have some nice colorful clusters, a little bit of bling. So not a ton. I'm not using a bunch. My crystal katana grew legs and walked off my table again, which is why I'm using my fingers. It'll show up eventually. It's probably somewhere incredibly obvious and staring me in the face, but I couldn't find it when I created this layout, so that's going to complete my layout for today. Thank you so much. I hope you have enjoyed this process. And if you haven't grabbed it yet, run, don't walk. Grab the One More Chapter collection from Wild Whisper Designs, because it has to be one of my very, very favorite collections of all time. Those girls just knocked this one out of the park. I'll talk to you all again very soon. Bye.